Alright, YouTube, I'm happy to announce that I will be on the upcoming episode of the Unbelievable podcast with Brian Frange. Pre-recorded, so already, spoke of these topics, and it will then be posted there. Specifically on memetics and the occult, and so anybody who wants to check that out will get a chance, a link in the description to their page as well as their Facebook page. I will also be hosting at least that segment of the episode on my channel here. It'll be an audio-only form. It was done in audio, not in video. It's a podcast. Specifically speaking about the election, how memetics is figuring into it, both from a secular and an actual spiritual perspective. Sometimes people look at it and they say, well, this is too spooky, and I'm just a secularist. I can't believe in sort of the witchy stuff. You don't have to. All you have to do is believe in the ability of thought to transfer from one mind to another through some sort of medium. Speech, video, pictures, it doesn't really matter. Text. That's all you have to believe in to understand how basically it works. I attempted to explain in as much detail as I could how exactly this sort of thing works from that secular perspective, overlapping onto it, the spiritual perspective, which goes a step further. And so I think people will find that interesting. If you liked the segment that I did on Red Ice Radio, I think that you'll enjoy this. It was a bit longer. I got to sort of go a little bit, perhaps deeper into the subject than before, as well as talking about the occult in general. For instance, some of my projects. Some of this has nothing to do with the election, of course. I spoke of ICQ as well, speaking about some not really that mystic connections there, but just the generally what happened sort of spiel that needed to be described a little bit deeper, as well as music. Sonic occultism plays a big role in all of these things. Within my practice, I think sometimes people think, well, we're talking about so much about Pepe and memetics. Well, for me, that's an afterthought. It just happens to be what other people are using for their psychological ritualism or for their occultism in general. I happen to be more of a fan of sonic occultism because it's always worked so well for me. There's no reason not to use it. If people think that that's superstition, well, so be it. If you don't believe in magic, then there's really nothing you can do with magic. And I use the term magic perhaps loosely here, because most people think that it means waving your hand and lightning comes out, like force lightning, like you're a Sith Lord or something like that, or they think of familiar spirits, demons, broomsticks, and cauldrons, and things like that. There's certainly a place for that within the title occultism or magic, but that's not all it is. It's always evolving. Alchemy, simply primordial chemistry, now generally understood as to what was going on there. The fact is that the creation of elixir, while not necessarily the best medicinal compound you could be creating, it is a real compound. It's colloidal gold, the aurum potabile, and so forth. The same is true with sort of the New Age spiritualism, which is more and more prevalent online. At a time, it may have been more archival. It was older works. It's beginning to evolve again. It's beginning to grow again. I see this as a good thing, by the way. I'm no purist. I don't care about purism within the occult, so it's not going to bother me. It's all of interest, every single path within the occult, even things on the fringe of the occult that aren't really technically occult paths at all. You look at like a Kankar, or like some of these cults around California and some of their writings and ideologies, the UFO cults and so forth. It's not really mysticism, but it's still interesting. It's still certainly within the realm of the paranormal. So yes, I will be on the next episode of the Unbelievable podcast. Anyone who's interested in checking it, I'll post it here. I'll also post a link to the entire episode, not just that segment of the episode, as well on the video when it actually is online. I believe he said it would be Tuesday, if I remember correctly. Now, timelines are malleable, so maybe it'll be Monday, maybe it'll be Wednesday, so I can't be sure there, so don't crucify me if I'm wrong. But I will be on that episode indeed. Speaking of the occult, that's about all. Peace.